There we go. No, I don't need kick open. Is Adobe fucked? Dude, fuck Adobe. Pissing me off. I want. What am I looking for? I'm looking for some synthwave. Mm. Uh, uh, uh. I think this one's pretty good. It's way too loud. There's a better one out there though. I guess I could just use like Spotify, but that'll probably get my shit immediately muted. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Oh yeah. Yo, what's up, Forge? How's it going, dog? How's it going, man? How you doing? Yo, what's up? What's up, people? How's it going? Man, that debate, rough. Is that good? Yeah, it's good. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. You, fuck, I don't even know. The power's out all day today for maintenance, so it's been quiet. Sheesh. That fucking sucked. Well, it's still hot here. Dude, yesterday I was dying, man. I was sweating my fucking balls off. I couldn't put together like a coherent thought to save my life. I was just cooking. It's still pretty hot, but not as bad, at least. Yeah, that debate, man. I had to bow out. When they started talking about the Charlie Kirk assassination, dude, I'm like... I don't know, man. Isn't it funny? It's like, there's just this pattern of behavior where a lot of people that are like A-logging Nick also have like their alternative opinion on the Charlie Kirk assassination and are also like defenders of like Jake Shields and Dan Bilzerian. They're just all cut from the same cloth. It's like, seriously? So they're like all the same. I don't know. It's just, they don't think that's weird. They simultaneously say like, oh, Groypers just agree with Nick on everything. And it's like, but you literally agree with all of the people over here on this side that are A-logging Nick. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You think you're above it all? You think you're a rational thinker? You think you're like free thinking, skating on the paradigm? You're not. You are a goy. You are a goy. It's Woody yelling to Buzz Lightyear. You are a goy. Yeah, what's up, MGO? Oh, you missed that? Who was debating? It was on Atlas Thug's stream. He was debating Zeb. And who was the other guy? I haven't even heard of the other guy. Yeah, dude, it's just like, they're just so behind, man. I don't know, like, Groypers, I'm telling you. I forgot who it was. Was it Wendell or Wuza that said, like, Groypers will act, and everybody else will be trying to figure out. They'll be playing catch-up. I'm paraphrasing. And by the time they finally figure it out, we would have acted again and again and again. So, like, literally, all these other people are just behind. They are behind the curve, and we are the vanguard. We are on the forefront, and people just don't understand it. But they will, maybe, eventually. You know? It's like that Ye quote. it's not that I'm right. Or what do you say? It's not that I'm not right. I'm just not right now. You know what I mean? Uh, why is Nick coming on so early? Heat Miser and Slappy. Is he coming? Wait, is he coming on? What do you mean Nick is coming on? Two Eagles upset Nick makes more money. Yeah, it's like literally. When you understand, a lot of people don't like Nick because of petty reasons. A lot of it makes a lot more sense. Like, yeah, Nick doesn't want to go on your fucking room temperature IQ shit can podcast to talk about like how Hitler was based 1488 and like the USS Liberty for the millionth time. You know, it's just like, yeah, actually Hitler is dead. Not the Nazis lost. USS Liberty was 60 years ago. Look, we got to be a little more imaginative. We got to be a little more creative. We have to think ahead. And people who think that just being the like most odious version of ourselves is somehow like a winning strategy are not living in reality. If you go out there like Roman saluting people and, you know, trying to convince them that Hitler was actually like super based or whatever, like you understand that is an uphill battle. Like why even like carry that baggage if you don't have to? If you can convince people to join your side without taking that path, because you don't have to, believe it or not. You're trying to fight this political battle on Iron Man difficulty impossible mode, you know? Oh, what's up, Brain Rod? How's it going? Yeah, a little bit of motion. Yeah, we'll get some motion tonight. We'll get some motion. It's due time to get some motion. I saw Andrew Wilson got hired by TPUSA, which is weird because they are prosperity Christians and he was all in for Orthodox. Did he really get hired by TPUSA? Is that... I missed that. I mean... would they even take the risk on... Andrew Wilson's kind of a... isn't he a brand risk for them? Wouldn't they consider him risky? Because he is like... I don't know if he's ever been like super vocal about the JQ. But he's certainly like against like feminism, for example, and I don't think like Charlie Kirk was the type of Christian who's like, love your wife. Oh, my wife is, you know, like the sort of simp version of Protestantism, you could say. So I would just get the feeling like Andrew Wilson would not fit in with that brand. GOP collapse? Oh, I'm just talking about the L's of the GOP, like little clickbaity, but I didn't really know what to title it, so yeah, I'm just in general, like the GOP is gonna get fucking destroyed in the midterms, and they need to. So, and the Groypers are gonna be there to pick up the pieces. Just to remind me of the Owen Benjamin and Jake Shields stream trying to debunk physics. I did not even... I know the what you're talking about, but I am not interested in that even in the slightest. Trying to debunk physics. What were they trying to debunk exactly? Imagine having 3 people in the room and the IQ doesn't break triple digits. That's like crazy. He got hired for his debate skills. Interesting. Weird things happening at TPUSA. Oh, I guess good for him. I'm sure he knows what TPUSA is all about. But we'll see how that goes. Good win for USA football. Who did they beat today? I saw Sneeko was streaming, and now he put on the USA jersey. It's like, bro, can you be fucking consistent at least? Of course not. Wilson was hired to teach TPUSA how to debate liberals. He immediately mocked the women in the room and told them he would always mock them even while teaching. That's kind of keck. Sloppo, bruh. Yeah, I know, right? Bro, brutal. What the fuck? Dude, this guy is such a fucking... Holy shit, man. Dude. Bruh. Bruh. Look at this crowd, too. Look at these fucking... Bro. Oh, it's so fucking cooked. Because Jake and Owen don't understand fundamental entities, then it doesn't exist. Just nonsense. Not worth the watch. Yeah, I don't even... Like, what do you mean? I'm not even sure what they... What were they calling into question? It's just like people that don't understand things, and therefore, from that lack of understanding, they draw skepticism. Like physics, you know? Or math. Or like evidence-based argumentation, like with the Charlie Kirk stuff. Like, when I hear somebody, like, unironically in the Big 26 go, oh, you trust the mainstream narrative? I know I'm talking to a fucking idiot. I know I'm talking to somebody low IQ. Like, that's just rhetoric, dude. People literally just, they use rhetoric as an argument, and I'm like, okay, where's the fucking evidence, okay? I'm all ears. I'm open to alternative explanations if you can present, like, an actual coherent argument with evidence to support it. Not just, oh, come on, man, you believe the mainstream narrative? It's like, get the fuck away from me. Actually get the fuck away from me. Like, people like that, I just, like, in what world, do you think, like, the mainstream media just lies about absolutely everything all the fucking time? Like, you can't trust them for anything? If you can't discern, like, the bias, if you can't read between the lines of, like, the New York Times, you are low IQ. You are a fucking idiot. Like, you just think, like all of their words, all, like 200 words in this fucking article, or however many words there are here in this article, this is all just lies because it's coming from the New York Times. It's like, that's not... Debunk it. You do it. Go ahead, debunk it. Fact check it. These people don't, because they're stupid. And so they just operate on heuristics. It's so frustrating. These conspirators are so frustrating, man. And again, I'll hear out any conspiracy if like, you can approach it from an academically rigorous position, if you actually put the effort in and have a real case. But that's just so few and far between. So it's just aggravating. It's just fucking aggravating when you hear these heuristics and this regurgitated rhetoric nonstop. Oh, you trust the mainstream narrative? Low IQ. Alhamdulillah. Don't give demons power by saying their name. That's why you have to use a euphemism that mocks them. Oh, is that... I'm not sure what, when you talk about, Sloppo? Is that what you mean? Okay, I don't think Sneeko's a demon, I just think he's a fucking idiot. He'll be on later. You at a baseball game right now? Am I on your phone? Smelly's been busy. WM go becoming a Beardson mod. Oh, look at you. You're a Beardson mod. Wow. Good for you. Good for you. Beardson Beardly. He's been fucking destroying both Sneeko and Matt Nuclear. You love to see it. You love to see it. Is he live right now? Oh, no, he's not. But yeah, he's been... And, dude, the clipping accounts are... That is the secret sauce. Seriously, clipping accounts are worth their weight in gold. I am telling you. Clippers are the unsung heroes of America First, but also for any, like, influencer. Any influencer, anybody, like, trying to grow a channel or something, it's all in the clipping. That is the secret in the Big 26. So, yeah, WM go. Busy balls. I asked them to remove it. Too much power. No, 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 no. With great power comes great responsibility. You must not shirk the power. You must rise to the occasion. Otherwise, you know, somebody will, and maybe they won't do a good job. Smelly Ball's a man to me in the heat miser and slaphead debate. Yeah, dude, that got a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that was I don't even know, man. It's just like all the boomerisms that we've been like exposed to for years at this point. If you're an old head, you've seen guys like those two dudes a million fucking times. A million fucking times. And if they just like were capable of putting two and two together, they would understand why their logic doesn't make fucking sense. It's like the same line of thinking like, you know, eventually there's gonna be a civil war. Says who, dude? Fucking says who? What, because Tim Pool has been saying that for years, that America is going to have another civil war. It's like, you know, it's also possible and absolutely nothing happens. And we just continue to like to slide into, you know, like third world race communism. You know, it's not like the 1920s anymore, man. It's a very different world. And people don't even know what, like, I've said this before. It's like people don't even know what a civil war would look like in actuality. It's like all the base people over here on the left and all the woke tards over here on the right. All right, ready, set, go. At the sound of the gun, we're going to start killing each other. It's like, no, dude. It's like, imagine you're walking outside and you get arrested because of your little podcast. Imagine, like, you know, a fucking drone flies in through your windshield and blows your head off. Okay? Or that they like remotely take control of your car and drive it into the fucking lake, locking your doors, locking you inside your vehicle at the same time. You won't be able to trust your neighbor. You won't be able to trust your family members. The power could just go off for no reason, and you could just be in the dark for months or years at a time. There's going to be no food in the supermarket, or maybe there will be. There's really no way to predict. It's just chaos everywhere all the time, domestic terrorism, that these fucking simpletons would not be able to even comprehend. So I just, like, people just don't really know. I don't know. They're not living in reality, I guess. I have a real case on moon landing and flat earth, but I don't care to debate or change people's minds on either. Sure. I donated because, one, I like to support Catholic businesses, two, for his Nick support. I donated because... To whom? I will ban anyone for their weak emoji posting. True. True and based. The Groypers be clipping. True. Groypers are doing work. It's only when they start, you know, like thirst trapping that it becomes a problem. You know, when they start voiding out. And or when they get too big for their britches, you know? Yeah, like the stream. What if Alt Hist is king of the locale Civil War influencers? Is he still around? After like his like 10-hour crash out? Good thing my car is drive-by cable. Whatever, they'll fucking pop your, they'll just plant a bomb on your fucking car or something, dude. It's like, if they really thought you were a problem. But yeah, most people would also do nothing. It's always somebody else. When the Civil War happens, are you joining the militia? Are you fucking off into the woods to train your militia of, like, you know, 30 chuds and 15 federal agents undercover? I just, like, I don't know. Realistically, I just don't. it's like, it's almost like an excuse to not do anything. You know, this learned helplessness. Not gonna vote your way out of this. Whatever, man. All right. See how that works out for you. Our help desk is outsourced. They're all super hench blacks, ex-prison inmates. I don't know what we're talking about here. Mel has short-term memory issue. Dude, we were talking about Beardson 90 seconds ago. Oh, yeah, I know, but look. I didn't know you donated to him. I thought you were talking about something else. I don't know. Fucking hell. That's what I figured, but I don't remember when anyone brought up donating. Gorbets are a group entity. Yeah, as Nick put it, they're a corporate entity. Faceless, unitless, just a continuous amalgamation. Oh. And when one steps out of line, they cease to exist. And they are no longer a Groyper, but an e-girl. And must be removed from the corporate entity. I need a minority Groyper with an athletic build who cooks me healthy meals and cleans my home. That's bait. What if all his walked away from his plane crash unscathed? I don't even... What is that guy even up to? I don't even know. I don't even know.
He was like, yo, we're celebrating the Morocco game. They were down 0-1. What's the name? That loser. Nick Fuentes. He was like, yo, you're so performative, bitch. How's that performative? We're celebrating Morocco. They were down 0-1. And they caught up and won. We're celebrating for Morocco. How's that performative?
He's obsessed. Like,
do we live in Morocco?
an ex-girlfriend. He's kind of just like, yeah. You know when you don't respond to a girl's text and she starts getting really mad? He's kind of like, yeah, I mean, he's enjoying the content, so whatever.
Oh, we're celebrating Morocco.
I love all my fans. I love all my fans.
You know what's crazy? Remember when Sneeko would get like, he would get like decent viewership back when like the peak of him collabing with Nick. He used to get like 8,000, maybe 10,000 viewers. Bro's got 2,000.
There we go.
Bro, talk about a fucking generational fall off. 2,000 viewers. Probably because he switched up on his audience so many times. You know, he was a red pill guy, and then he was a Muslim. You know, then he was like a white nationalist, but then he became a total fucking libtard. Now he's just a third worldist brown clown. It's like, bro's just searching. He doesn't even know what he is. It's crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, prime examples of Andrew Wilson. He says Starship Troopers is one of his favorite movies, and only people who have served should be able to vote. The only service he knows is soft. Yeah, dude. Yeah, a lot of people are just fucking LARPing. And don't get me wrong, I think in like an ideal world, I do think we should very much value service, and I think we should lean in on being a martial society. That's who we are. I want our country to be strong and powerful militarily, but it's like, dude, a lot of people are just like saying stuff that they think sounds tough. You know, it's like, okay, come back to reality, come back to 2026, and see if that makes any sense. You know, it's a LARP, and we need to be realistic. It's the same thing with like people saying, like, we need a Tradcath monarch. It's like, okay, good luck with that. Good, like, what do we even... Is that... It's just like, I don't know. What do you even say? Like, at this point, what do you even say to people? It's just like, and then all the movies are going to be based. They're going to be super based. And then, yeah, then we're going to kick out all the brown people. It's just like, okay, and can we live in reality, please? I don't know, man. It's like people are trying to outdo each other on who can be more based. It's like, that's okay. What year is it, man? What year is it? Can we come back to reality? So, anyway. I believe all his last video is him saying why his Civil War in 2026 prediction was wrong and doom-pilling. Yeah, that guy should probably be, like, institutionalized, huh? YouTube just notified. Oh, you got, see, yeah, hit the bell notification, everybody. Hit the bell notification. Like the stream. Leave a like. We're just gonna yap today. What's going on with the, SSPX? Are they gonna get excommunicated for their unsanctioned, actions here? Consecrating, I think, 4 new bishops. Yeah, 4 new bishops. Marshall Mathers Society. Hyper-acceleration rigorous. Yeah. I'm the most based. No, I'm the most based. Our society needs to be more trad, more Catholic. We need an emperor. We need a Catholic emperor. That would be so based. That would be so based. It's gonna be so trad and Catholic. Franco tried a trad Catholic monarch in Spain and they stabbed him in the back. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Like, we just need a strong authoritarian. I'm indifferent to the actual, like, structure of the government in that sense. Like, whatever. I'm not tied to any particular, excuse me, the carbonation. Any particular, like, political, means of governance, like whether like it's a republic or a democracy or a dictatorship or a monarchy or we have an emperor, whatever you want to call it. I'm not tied to that, you know. That's not really, I'm not an ideologue on those grounds. A lot of people are. You see it on the left all the time. They're tied to this idea of democracy, and it's like, okay, but, you know, we're giving people democratic powers who are absolutely hostile to us. Like when you get these anchor babies that come over, or these people that drop anchor with their anchor babies, and those anchor babies are just disrupting our country. And using their democratic powers to oppress us and vote for more immigration and things of that nature. So, like, clearly there's something has gone terribly wrong with this. And so I'm not married to that. I'm not married to any particular political ideology in that regard. I think whatever we decide on, we should really try to craft something particular to our circumstances, and we shouldn't be afraid to steal the best ideas, wherever they may come from. And we should focus on consequences. You know, when we enact policy, we need to think of the consequences. 2 questions, like, is this a moral policy? And then follow-up question, what are the consequences for enacting this policy? Like that, generally that's how I'm thinking. So, because a lot of people, they sort of trap themselves and they say, well, we can't have a dictator or whatever because that would be like anti-constitutional. It's like, dude, the Constitution doesn't mean shit, man. They wipe their ass with the Constitution. At this point, they only embrace the Constitution when it works in their favor and against us. Like now these Supreme Court judges want to be constitutionalists, of course, regarding birthright citizenship because of the 14th Amendment. And it's like, okay, but clearly it's being abused. It's like these immigrants, these illegal immigrants are clearly abusing that loophole, and it's against our interests. So now they want to be, and all these like leftists and liberals defending the decision. Oh, so now you're suddenly pro-Constitution. These same people that were calling for like the censorship of conservatives and right-wingers 6 years ago. Now suddenly they really care about the Constitution, so they're not consistent. There's a double standard. So Constitution be damned, we just need to get power, and that's it. We need our guys to get into power and destroy our enemies. That's it. Carlos still from the people, former King Carlos. It doesn't matter because canon law protects them. I don't know the details. See Christian Wagner. Them being SSPX. Yeah, I'm not a big expert on, you know, church politics, so there are people who are far more knowledgeable on those subjects. But I will maintain that this seems schismatic to me, and I'm Catholic, so I will you know, always bend the knee to the Pope. He is the Pope. Simple as. Why did Franco choose the Bourbons? They're more French than Spanish. Couldn't tell you. I think we need to really start considering the possibility that we will never have any flavor of authoritarian regime. If so, a shift to real-world micro-communities is a productive path. Nah, I think that's a defeatist mindset. We just need to win one presidential election. That's it, literally. We just need to win one. With our guy and his loyal followers. That's literally it. Yeah, I think you should build up your community, but they can always destroy your community. So it's not a good buttress against this. Like, yeah, you should get together with like-minded people and form networks and all that. And help each other out. Don't put anything into writing. You know, just smart things like that. Don't say stupid shit. Don't fed post. But yeah, definitely, like, build up your community if you can. Just so, like, you know, people like these, like, savages can't come and, like, take your shit, you know? Sidestep the Carlos movement. Within the SSPX movement, they've had 4 to 5 schisms in the last 56 years. Am I a defeatist, or are you smoking that Hopium loud pack? No, I mean, like, look, I would never say never, because people wanted that out of Trump. Literally, 2016 and 2024, people, like, that was the popular sentiment. Like, Trump won the referendum on immigration. People wanted the mass deportations. Maybe not all of America, but enough. There's enough political will there. And look, at the end of the day, it's just going to be whoever shows up. You know, you know, again, you know, if you don't think it's possible, then just roll over and die now. Like, what the fuck is the point even? You know? You just take every bit that you can. You know, whether it's really, I think it is possible. Almost because it might even become a necessity. Depending on how bad things really get, it might even become a necessity. Because, you know, we've been somewhat insulated from, like, real economic hardship for quite some time now. It's almost like people can't even imagine what, like, a depression would look like in this country. And if our country were to go through a depression, I think you would need an authoritarian power to just keep order. Can you fucking imagine? If things got really bad economically, the cities would just become fucking the jungle. It would be like every man for himself. And they're already bad now, and there already are a lot of calls for, you know, policing. But I think that there's a real possibility that it would necessitate some kind of strong authoritarian response just to keep order in the country. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows exactly what's going to happen? What is the last tangible win we had? I mean, Nick being mainstream is the biggest one. I think the fact that, like, you know, Elon Musk bought Twitter, I do think that's a W. I think a lot more people are on our side, so to speak, than they were, 10 years ago. So, like, the needle is moving. It's just... like, the GOP stands in our way. You know, Trump stands in our way. And, so 2028 is going to be very important. Yeah, no, Chicago's a fucking mess, but it can always get worse. It can always get way worse. So... has anyone read the Atlantic article on Trump versus Nick? Is that the one that Nick posted? I don't know. Getting the Groypers working together like a quilting project. That's a W, true. I mean, the fact that they're now talking about like, oh yeah, young Republican activists are. Let's read that actually. I mean, I don't even know if I'll. Do I have to like sign in? Do I have to subscribe to their shitcan website? I do. I mean, this is a white pill. That other article that came out, what was it, like 6 months ago? That predicted like 40% of GOP staff, and they said that this is probably an underestimate, or Groypers. That's a white pill. I told you, you know. Friend in the military said a surprising number of people know ball, you know what's up. Even like higher up the chain of command. That's a white pill. So like, you know, don't black pill. But it's going to be a tough battle, and you just have to be outcome independent. It is what it is. Worst would be Memphis. Speaker needs to escape to California at 68 degrees and no humidity. Well, which part of California? Which part? SoCal or NorCal? Honestly, I think I'm more of a NorCal kind of guy. NorCal is just like, dude, it's just beautiful. It's like perfect climate, picturesque. Yeah. Yeah, California's pretty great. If only it wasn't so corrupt and liberal. Liberal.
You guys Air Force, Nate? What are you guys?
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. You guys like Pete Hegseth?
So far.
All right. You guys got America first or Israel first? You don't know? Well, you serve the American military.
Yeah, we can have opinions like that.
You can't have an opinion about what country to put first?
Not supposed to.
While Sneeko harassed them, he literally had a Bosnian soccer jersey underneath his US one and has been cheering for Muslim countries in the World Cup. This is when you just have to, again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but like, nothing this guy says we should ever take seriously. We need to have conversations among ourselves. And Sneeko should not be allowed in that conversation because he's clearly not American. He clearly has no love for America. And they're using the Israel issue as a wedge to try and like push Islam in Western countries. They hide behind the Israel issue. They hide behind the genocide. And it is a genocide. But they're using it as propaganda to push more Islam in Western countries. It's like, okay, no, bud. You know, you and Shlomo can get out of here. Yeah, the weather in Silicon Valley has been super nice these days. Archive that website to read paywalled articles. You know, check it out. If you love hiking, the SF Bay area is the best you can get. Yeah. Yeah, California's nice, man. People, not so much in the cities.
Not supposed to make public political statements.
You're putting your life on the line for this country, man. Best of luck to you, man. God bless.
Always America first, man.
Isn't that crazy? Like they're literally putting their life on the line, and I asked them America is zero first, they can't answer.
You can't say America?
Nope. And they're literally fighting for our country.
Tell them America first or Mexico first.
Dude, it's like these two guys are having a conversation about America and what is in America's best interests. You know, like just think about that for a second. Disgusting. And it's like, Sneeko, it's called professionalism. You've got a fucking camera in their face, okay? Are we gonna pretend like... Does he like understand? Probably not. But it's like, if you're in the military, you know you can get written up if you make like a political statement while wearing the uniform. Are you fucking dumb? Does he not understand that? How that might be a poor reflection on, you know, their branch of service? Does he not understand that there are rules against that? Fucking idiot. Oh my gosh. Just looked up average monthly temps in SF and my mind was blown. It's cold. Shit. Yeah, literally part of the job description. Literally, dude. Literally. It's just... fucking hell, man. Doesn't understand how shit works award. Oh shit. Passion of the Christ is coming back. Let's see. So when is the new one come in? When is port 2? When is port 2 released? They wrapped up filming, right? Anyway. You can go to Fed prison for it. Yeah, no, you can get, fuck, what is it, court-martialed, depending on how bad it is. So it's like, yeah, just... Sneeko thinks he's like, dude, there's just nothing more embarrassing than when they think they're, like, getting an own, but they just actually don't understand how shit works. I'm telling you, man. A lot, like, it's not like the guys in the military aren't seeing a lot of the same Instagram reels and shit that we, you know, like I know a guy in the military and he's like, he said I was pleasantly surprised at how, like, based people are. You know, I've got a source. So, yeah. So I'll take his word for it. Editing takes about a year after wrap. Yeah, the editing, the promotion, you know, it takes a while. So, and then distribution too. Because you have to, like, plan this, right? You need to get the slots in the theaters and all that. Plan the promotion tour. A lot of logistics that go into it. On top of the editing. So. And if there's any special effects, you have to, you know, it takes time for them to cook that up. So it's big projects, you know. Movies take a lot, you know. And of course the soundtrack on top of that, you got to work the soundtrack and, you know, other sound engineering stuff. So there's a lot of iteration involved. You got to get the right tone. Like, does this soundtrack fit, or how should we tweak it for this particular scene? And then you got to make everything match. Big stuff. So, yeah, 1 hour drive south is a city like Gilroy in the way, hotter because it's farther from the ocean. Dude, I miss California. You guys are making me miss California. Mel Gibson is going back to the Fall of Angels. Part 1. Oh, there's part 2. It's 2-parter. Okay. 2027, part 2, 2028. Okay. Should I rewatch Star Wars? Haven't seen the film since 2005. I don't know. I mean, I like well, I used to like Star Wars. Why not? Why not? Go for it. You know, the new Star Wars all suck. I checked out after what was it called? The episode 8. That was the biggest steaming pile of dog shit I've ever had the displeasure of sitting through. So, what? Man has wife sign a GTA contract guaranteeing uninterrupted gaming time during launch week. Can you imagine? Babe, please, can I get GTA 6? Please, all the boys are gonna be playing it. Babe, please. Babe, come on. Come on, babe, please. Can you imagine? Holy fuck, dude. Holy fucking shit. Just put a bullet right here, please. I could not imagine. I could not fucking imagine. Oh my gosh. People thought Jar Jar Binks would be the worst. How naive we were, Tix. I remember, okay? I was sitting there, naive, middle school, when Disney bought Star Wars. And I was like, dude, I'm excited. We're going to get more Star Wars movies. And I don't care how bad they are. I'm still going to love Star Wars because I'm just going to enjoy being in the universe. My sweet summer child. Oh, my sweet summer child. Dude, oh, man. That was my don't let me leave, Murph. I was like, dude, holy shit. I couldn't imagine. Because, like, my conception of bad would be, like, maybe campy or, like, cheesy, whatever. Not that they would, like, shit all over. Yeah, I thought, like, maybe more like episode 1. Like, because that was, like, the worst thing Star Wars ever put out was, like, episode 1 and 2. So that was, like, the floor. And so I'm like, okay, well, I like both of those movies. I grew up with them. So for me, getting more of that, not a big deal. But I had no idea. I had no idea how much worse it could get. And so, yeah, yeah. Fuck. Now here we are, and I don't even give a shit anymore, man. Like, does anybody really give a shit about Star Wars? It's just so atrocious. They absolutely torched that franchise. You know, and it's the women. They let women into the space, and look at what they did with it. You know? Ugh. Despicable. Jar Jar is a Sith. That was actually a really cool theory, right? That Jar Jar was secretly the Emperor, or like, you know, was secretly the one pulling the strings. Yeah, that's the best Jar Jar lore. Yeah. It was all the adults. All the adults hated Jar Jar. And I'm like, wow, come on. You know? It's me said Jar Jar Binks. It's like, it's real. If you know, you know. Yeah, if you know, you know. It's real. And, you know, the most convincing thing about that theory was, like, when George Lucas was talking about, like, the mythos behind Star Wars and, like, Yoda, he liked this idea that this, like, sort of unassuming, like, character on the side of the road could be a super powerful being, like Yoda. That was, his thought process behind Yoda. And so it totally fits into that. But I think that the backlash to Jar Jar was what maybe... that idea he definitely floated, but it was probably the backlash that dissuaded him from going all in on that. So, yeah. Darth Jar Jar. You guys watch Nick's show last night? It was a good one. He really just lays it out there, you know? Really just lays it all out. This GOP has failed us, and we've just wasted 10 years. So, great show. Great show. What's up, SSB? How's it going, dog? Exactly. Yoda versus Dooku shows you what George Lucas was thinking. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, you know? George Lucas. If I could go back in time. If I could go back in time. Don't do it! Don't let me leave, Murph! Fuck, man. Hope the 6 billion. Funny number. I hope the 6 billion was worth it. It's always a 6, huh? Only caught about 20 minutes of it last night. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I mean, it's always good. But, you know, again, like this is a total Republican failure. And we talked about it yesterday, and, you know, if you're on the Twitter timeline, you've heard this take too, probably a million times, but it's like, who appointed Amy Coney Barrett? Or Roberts? I mean, Roberts, you know, Bush administration. But literally. Just a total failure of, like, dude, even if you had, like, a milquetoast conservative, like, this probably would have gotten through. Literally, one vote. It's always down to, like, one dissenting Republican, I swear, these fucking people. And then you see people like JD, we have to push harder. It's like, dude, fuck you. Fuck the Republican Party. They've let us down for the last time. So. Spark Notes saw it. Surprised you still rock with Nick. I used to tune in a lot, but had to stop. Of course, dude. Nick is the guy. You should tune back in. Because a lot of people, you know, they don't really understand Nick's angle when he says something that's like, how would you describe it? Maybe controversial. Like when he says the GOP needs to lose this time around, it's like there's a clear calculus there. Why does the GOP need to lose in the midterms? It's so that the Democrats can get in and shut this administration down that is torching our country, that is not doing the things that they're promising, but pretty much giving Israel everything they want, and has led us into this disaster in Iran. And so the GOP needs to be punished because this platform needs to lose. So a lot of people took issue with that, but the logic is very sound. And that's politics, baby. That's politics. So. Do you think him defending Stein was for troll? Oh, Epstein? Well, here's the thing. What was actually in the Epstein files that we know of, right? So far, there was, because a lot of people you see on the timeline, they take the most, like, dramatic, the most, like, conspiratorial stance on the Epstein files. They were eating children. But if you actually look at the files, and granted, there are still a number of files that are redacted and not released. But we can't know what's in those files because we can't know what we don't know. All we can do is speculate. So what we've seen so far is it was really just a prostitution ring. So if like just setting the record straight based on evidence is defending Epstein, like nobody's defending Epstein, but that was like a big filter for a lot of people because it's like there's actually no concrete evidence that they were like doing satanic rituals with these prostitutes. And because Nick said that somehow he's defending Epstein, it's like you're losing me with that, you know? It's like because he's not like perpetuating the most outlandish theories that are very low confidence, then therefore he's like defending them. Nick said, Israel didn't kill Charlie Kirk. He's shilling for Israel. It's like, how? We care about the truth. If there's evidence, like actual evidence that Israel killed Charlie Kirk? Sure. But as of right now, it's dubious at best. So the most likely explanation is the official explanation. So I don't know why people struggle with this so much. It's like they're just so caught up in their priors that they don't really care for what's true or isn't true. It's like some people literally in this instance just want to blame Israel for absolutely everything, and it's like, okay, but they're not responsible for absolutely everything. It's a big world. There are a lot of players out there. So we need to follow the truth. We need to be very diligent, very rigorous in how we analyze things and look for evidence, because you can't just make strong cases without proper evidence. All you're doing is speculating, and that's just not good enough. So the way I like to describe it to people is just do it based on like confidence. Maybe if you want, maybe probability is a way to think about it. Like, what's the likelihood that this happened based on what we know, based on the available evidence, versus this other explanation, this other narrative. And then you say, okay, let's weigh the evidence. I think this is more likely. This is probably the what really happened there. And so many people crashed out because of that. So they're all part of it. I'm not for Trump at all. Oh, I'm not for Trump at all either. But the thing is, I think we really need to be very rigorous in this, because, you know, we shouldn't push narratives that are false. And so if you can't really prove something, you shouldn't put your credibility behind it, because that's reckless, that's irresponsible, but you could also be wrong. So has Hawk been around? I haven't seen Hawk in a minute. Pretty sure he's not thinking the same. Yeah, I'm probably. Oh, George Lucas. No Louise, no motion. That's Christian. Yeah, we'll get some motion. Why are boomers terrible people? Boomers ruin everything. I can't stand them. Yeah, they're just out to lunch. They're just old. Their brains have crystallized. They've been indoctrinated with liberal propaganda. Yada, yada, yada. They're fucking cooked. They're very selfish, too. In a sense. Some boomers are great people. Don't get me wrong. Some boomers are genuine, what we would consider, like, good people. But I think a lot of it stems from them kind of being not so self-aware. You know, they don't really recognize that they lived in a very unique period of American history, and that time has come and gone. And so when they see, like, younger people struggling, they're like, hey, just pull yourself up by bootstraps. They just don't understand, a lot of them, what the younger generations have to go through, or how their actions have sort of created this situation. So there are good boomers out there. But that generation as a whole is guilty of the decline of America. Or at least a big portion of it. Atlas and Pine Top are doing a show Tuesday. Oh, nice. Dude, Atlas is, he's like the up-and-coming AF content creator. That's awesome to see. Yeah, he's like, I saw the collab with Beardson. So, 07 Atlas. He's a great guy. He's doing a great job defending our position. If Trump has balls, he would pack the court with kumquats. So true. So true. But yeah, you know, yeah. I guess you'd have to wait till, I mean, look, there's a lot of things Trump would do if he had balls, right? Alice has Padre Pio opening and closing a show. Yeah. I heard a critique of that movie, though, for what it's worth, where Padre Pio wouldn't cuss like that in a confessional. Yeah. but it's not, you know, it's a movie. QAnon has turned on Trump. People is Crockett. It's a W. What do you, who still follows QAnon? Seriously. Remind me to remind Smelly to ask Pinetap for a Mellow Pine show. Oh, you guys are too good. What sucks is that certain sectors of government and corporations are very good at manipulating evidence. That's true. Look, I'll say this. Don't get me wrong. There are things that are like suspicious about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Weird. But if anything, I think the more reasonable explanation is they probably just cover up their own incompetence. Because Kash Patel is a fucking bozo. And probably didn't want to be too transparent because, like, it would probably reveal how poorly they handled the investigation. I think that's more likely than, like, you know, some other kind of conspiracy theory. I think that's often the case with a lot of cover-ups, is people just kind of covering their tracks for their own fuck-ups. But again, it's just like, I'm like I said before, I will hear people out if they have an alternate theory, if they really have evidence. But there's also this like lack of self-awareness too. It's like, look at how the entire well has been poisoned. This whole conversation has been mired with the most retarded fucking theories that make no sense. People speculating just relentlessly about like very unlikely things. Like, remember when Candace like was saying, well, what if the shooter was in the trap door? Everyone, like, what if the shot came from below? It's like, seriously? Like, really? You don't think somebody would have noticed? The audio doesn't corroborate that claim. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, maybe like think for a few seconds before you blurt the first thought that comes out of your head and see if that's actually like plausible. Or like the palm pistol theory. It's like, dude, that guy in the crowd, you know, because they said like this guy that was like scratching his arm was actually shooting a palm pistol. Dude, if somebody shot a fucking gun in a crowd, everybody would hear it. If you were sitting next to a gun going off, you would hear it. You would probably feel it. You would feel maybe the heat or the shockwave. You would smell it. And you would turn and be like, what the fuck was that? But nobody does that in the footage. So it's like, and you saw like, what was that guy's name? That liberal guy on YouTube, that he was a big advocate for that theory. So at a certain point, it's just like, we can speculate, but like actually, like, before you put out just any theory into the atmosphere, into the conversation, like actually do some due diligence and check if it's even plausible. So otherwise, we're just throwing shit at the fucking wall, and now the conversation is just like filled with just nonsense. And it poisons the well. So anyway, like, what if it was a Jewish space laser? Shit, like, you know, it's come down to earth a little bit. Anyway. We should have more grace when it comes to boomers. They grew up when it was much easier to control groups via brainwashing and lack of information at fingertips. Yeah, I mean, look, like when I talk to my mom's come a long way, for example, and like now a lot of them are starting to get it. But you just kind of need to, like, a big part of it too is media literacy. They did grow up in a different ecosystem where there was like 3 channels and a couple of publications, and that's it. And now anybody and any jack-off on the internet with a microphone can have an opinion and can like put it out there into the world. And it's not like powerful people haven't figured that out and don't fund certain people and interest groups under the guise of like citizen journalism. And so like the patronage networks are now much more opaque. It's like harder to, you think you're getting your opinions from an earnest actor, but a lot of it is just propaganda. And people are too credulous, and they know like the mainstream media lies or something along those lines, and then they just gravitate to the first podcast, and nobody. The key thing is like nobody is immune to this. Nobody. That's sort of the scary thing. It's like we are immersed in it at all times. You just kind of need to be aware of it, and It's actually admittedly very difficult to navigate. So the average person has zero chance. Average person cooked. And it takes, you know, I mean, look at Nick, and he'll say the same thing. It's difficult to parse through this information, figure out what's real, what isn't real, who's saying who, and how interested parties are influencing the conversation. Because a lot of, here's a good example, and I've been talking, you know, that's sort of making the rounds. Like, a lot of people in the right wing were very much influenced by Russia when the Ukraine war popped off. A lot of very pro-Russian voices, you know, cropped up, and because, you know, the right wing was generally against the Ukraine war and opposed the war and opposed that narrative, that sequence of events, then they gravitated to like the loudest voice in opposition, and a lot of those voices were straight up funded by Russia. Whether it was like Un's Review or like the what's that one podcast, the Duran. All of those guys are ex-RT literally. They had shows on RT called Crosstalk, and they have one of the biggest sort of like counter-Western podcasts on the war, and they're straight up like Russian apologists. And regardless of how you feel maybe about the war on a personal level, you just have to identify that, like, you know, take a step back and who really gains from Americans being pro-Russia or pro-Ukraine? Well, obviously Ukraine or Russia. Because, like, for example, Russia would gain immensely if that was a key issue in the elections, where, you know, like, if the voter base that voted for the next Republican candidate is like staunchly anti-Ukraine, like, obviously that would very much benefit Russia, and so you just need to be aware of that. You know, I don't really have a strong opinion about either country, to be honest. And again, and people fall for like certain narratives, like, oh, well, NATO was in the wrong and we should never have gotten, like, yeah, I agree with that, but now we're in the war. So now what? Now we are in the war. We've staked our security guarantees on this war. We are in open hostility with Russia. That is our political reality. Now what? So, and yeah, I'll just have like discussions with boomers, and they'll like, you know, look at this speech saying that like Putin said that Russia wanted to join NATO. It's like, yeah, he's literally putting speeches out there to convince you, an American, to be more pro-Russia. Russia is not based. Russia is not the based Christian haven that some people think it is. And again, I'm not like this Russophobe. I only care about America, really, at the end of the day. And I don't want to be instrumentalized for some other country's foreign policy. Like, no thank you, actually. So, when you see people like Candace and Tucker, and even the Tates for that matter, making trips to Moscow for political conferences, that's kind of an alarm. That's kind of a red flag, don't you think? So, and for what it's worth, yeah, we probably should be allied with Russia and leverage our alliance with Russia against China. That would make more sense. But like, people literally think, some like boomers literally think that like Russia is a trad Christian country, and it's like, no, it's not. The Chabad Lubavitchers run that country. They have like more abortions per capita than like any other European country. You know, there's a big like network of like straight up Satanism, like Order of the Nine Angles, for example, that are a part of that are embedded in Russia. And they're importing like 1 million Indians to fill the labor shortage due to the war. How is any of that based exactly? Anyway, so a lot of that's just propaganda. I don't hate Russia, but I'm not gonna fucking carry their water for them. Anyway, oh, is that, yeah, Jimmy Dore. Here comes Kumquat. Yeah, sorry, I was yapping for a minute there. Let me catch up here. Yeah, I get the speculation is fried, but what they told us is literally impossible. What in particular? Yeah, Jimmy Dore. It was Jimmy Dore. The video of the shooter on the rooftop still hasn't seen the light of day. When it does exist, Probably will drop during trial. Keeps putting push back. The coat by LIAS will be fun to watch. Look, then when it drops, look, if new information comes out, low IQ anti-Semites. Look, if new information comes out, then look, we can revise our opinion on the matter. But all we can really do, this is like the thrust of my argument, is form our opinions based on what we know. We can only speculate about the things we don't know. So whatever footage we haven't seen, we haven't seen. So if new information comes out, then we can have a discussion when that happens. Gatito, what is that? What's up, Kumquat? You're immune because you're online? All roads lead back to Kumquat. Concentric circles of paid shills, you're not wrong. Lots of involvement through the university system with that as well. The MK Ultra hearings were pretty clear about the uni connections. I mean, there's a number of connections. I mean, look, even like search engines, you know, Silicon Valley. Look at where, like, Google's across the street from various government buildings. I think like NASA, and I think the FBI is over there too. You can literally pull it up on like Google Maps and look at where their buildings, like literally right across the street from certain federal agencies. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of truth to those things. The different. Okay, all right, yeah. I know, I'm yapping. Underview is cool. Being on RT isn't that wild. No, I mean, but look, you have to question their motives. And I don't look. UNS is a great resource, but they know what you care about. These people are smart. A lot of these foreign agents, they know what you care about, and they know how they can get an in, how they can sort of slide in, by sort of framing their arguments in such a way that you would agree with them. So, like, for example, they know your opinion on the JQ, so they'll try to like make this sort of argument that like Russia is against the, like, you know, the one world Zionist government or something, and I just think that's the wrong lens to view the conflict from. So it's not just that governments gain, it's corporations, banks, actuaries, market speculators. These practices were already normalized by the time boomers were teenagers. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there are people behind everything, right? Like, these organizations are run by people, and people benefit, so people have incentives. Yeah, I entered 30 minutes ago, roll out the red carpet. Okay, hi, Kumquat. What the fuck? What do you want from me? What do you want from me, bro? What do you want from me? At this rate, I won't want to be institutionalized or instrumentalized my own country in a few years. Yeah, I mean, look, the thing, again, like, the thing is, the enemy of your enemy is not always your friend. So, Gatito was kitten. Oh my gosh. Okay. Google owners has a jet on NASA Ames Research Center in Mountain View that has no public access. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, there's some, like, creepy esoteric things. There are some creepy things that, you know. Yeah. There's some creepy stuff that goes on at a high level for sure. Wouldn't deny that. Emmanuel Sadful, I think Tyler Robinson was crazed, trans-loving. Yeah, I know. I'm just what do they say? What do they say in corporate America? I'm just building off of what you're saying. If I could just touch off of what you said, and we could circle back. You know? You find an Arabati yet? Yeah, did you? Kumquat, did you find a... But yeah, media literacy is super critical. You should go into every site, source, article, etc. Taking your own side, not prone to sneaky attacks via your emotions. Yep, 100%. And people are far too emotional nowadays. Always have been, I guess, but it is what it is. And so, like, a lot of the rage bait that Nick puts out is just like a filter, you know? What do you mean he's selling an Epstein? What the fuck? He's got the quarter zip. Doesn't he know that Epstein was a satanic pedophile? That's it. It's like, bro. Bro. Oh, dude. But he had that shit on. You know what I mean? It's like just, crazy. Crazy people just filtering themselves out all the time. The rarest Pokemon would be a Catholic Japanese baddie. Would it be? Corporate speech turned me into an isolated wagey. Yeah, dude, corporate people are not real. They're not real human beings. These fucking people, you know, the way they talk. Gosh, it is just like, it's like rope fuel, honestly, hearing these people fucking talk. These LinkedIn people. You know? Yeah, how are we looking on our Q4 projections? You know, they could walk in on, like, their wife getting fucked by some other guy and be like, well, this is suboptimal. It's like, okay, you know, can we, like, speak like human beings for a second? Ugh. Yes, most Japanese Christians are Lutherans, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Japan is still very much a atheist country. Unfortunately. They're Christians, but yeah, I don't think there are a lot of Catholics over there. They exist, but not exactly a Catholic country, you know? Oi. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's... Again, I'm not an expert on what's on Catholic politics.
Like, abolishing ICE is just one step, right? Democrats have been in power multiple times over the last few decades and did nothing to
Bro, look at the hairline. Can you imagine Norwooding as
address
a
the
woman?
immigration reform that we have.
Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Holy fuck. Look at that shit. She could rent that shit out. That's free real estate. Anything, you know, we could make a lot of money advertising.
Vice expenditures, increase spending.
Exactly.
That's a
Yeah.
billboard.
And so I think there has to be an immediate pathway for every single undocumented.
This forehead exists in like 3 different time zones. Oh my goodness. They're not atheists. They're Buddhist Shinto majority, if I recall correctly. I know, like, they have a big... Yeah, I just don't think that the majority of people in Japan are even religious. So I guess I would classify them as atheists, no? Maybe the biggest religion is Buddhist or Shinto, but I think as far as most people, if I'm not mistaken, are just kind of a-religious, which I guess you would classify as atheist, if I'm not mistaken.
Documented immigrant that's here in this country today that does not require them to shell out thousands of dollars to go through the process, for it to take decades at a time to be able to get to citizenship, an immediate pathway to citizenship, and then just abolishing ICE is just one step.
Yeah, it's just like, these people just fucking suck, man. More at 11. Oh, and then you get fucking people like this. Hassan is getting anti-Israel candidates into Congress. Right-wingers and Groypers can't even save Thomas Massey from getting raped by Trump and Jews. It's like, dude, these people are anti-West. They're anti-white. They're anti-American. What fucking good is it? No, you don't get to hide behind the Israel issue and then sneak into Congress and just, like, shit all over white people. No, actually. Because that's what they're doing. They're using the Israel issue as a shield against criticism. Oh, you don't want some fucking third worldist Somalian or I guess Ethiopian, what's the difference? To be in Congress ruling over you? You must be a Zionist. It's so fucking transparent what they're doing, man. Fuck all of them, dude. Brother. Brother. The biggest religion is screen time? Come on, dude. Come on, that's so fucking cheesy. Come on now. Come on. Come on. The biggest religion are people's phones. They worship their phone, dude. Please. You know what we're talking about. Come on, man. Oh, that was fucking corny. Well, then the same would be to two-timer Christians that only go to church on Easter and Christmas. Yeah, I mean, I think people should try to, you know, be good Christians, but, you know, it is what it is. We could all be better Christians. Let's all lead by example.
Muslims say no, it's the absolute unity and the oneness of Allah. So it's really the nature of God. And the second thing is the resurrection of Christ. Because even St. Paul says this in the Bible. He says if it was not raised from the dead.
Are they censoring Christ?
Even St. Paul says this in the Bible. He says if
Am I crazy?
The second
one time I'm like, okay, maybe the mic just peaked or whatever, but
thing is the resurrection of Christ. Because even St. Paul says this in the Bible. He says if
what's going on here?
It was not raised from the dead, then everything else is in vain.
What's going on here?
Yep. It all
Am I crazy?
rides on whether he rose from the dead. And that is a historical question. That's a question of historicity. It either happened or it didn't.
Yep.
And if it happened, then what he said was true. Because what he said is, you know, I am. Before Abraham was, I am. You know, he said he was God. And if he died on the cross and rose again, that would prove all of his claims. If he didn't, then obviously it's false. So with regard to the question of what Muslims say, in regard to the question of
why is Christ censored? Are we serious right now? Is this from the podcast or the clip? What the fuck? Oh, this just dropped 5 hours ago.
At the end of the day, you know,
Let's
what
find
are
out
we
if
trying to
it's
do? Because if what we're trying to
censored in the
do
stream
is
or
make
not.
ourselves laugh and amuse ourselves,
People
then
talking
yeah,
about
let's
this?
put on face paint and say the N-word and okay. You know, and if we're trying to be a flash in the pan, flavor of the month, edgelord live streamer, then yeah, let's say chimping out as much as we can at the mall. Like, okay, sure. But if what we're trying to do is achieve lasting political change, we have to be extremely prudent.
Okay, when did I talk
Easy
about Christ?
numbers, you know, like why do you think
2024. This news,
Yeah.
I said, how about this Wednesday? It
We
was
have
on a Sunday,
timestamps
I
up
think
in
we
this shit?
talked. She goes, yeah, absolutely, we'll fly you out. And I remember
like bigger than us?
for paid social camp. He goes out, he's at the Knicks game. Oh, the Knicks
I put this guy. He's gonna say that forever. So
and everything. But
could
no, I
react to
don't
this.
I don't really know too much about Tate's religious views.
yeah,
Or martyred for their religion. In other words,
Okay.
Muslims say is that at the last minute of God and it, to a
right.
because the Christians believe it's Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Muslims say no, it's the absolute unity and the oneness of Allah. So it's really the nature of God. And the second thing is the resurrection of Christ.
Okay,
Because
so it's the clip. Why is Christ censored in this clip? Is this Zerka's clip? So it's not Tyson. What the fuck is this, man? What the fuck is this? Bro, what is this? Having help with the cringe by going to censor Christ. That's wild. Yeah, what? Yeah, no, the clip is censoring Christ. Why? Zerka, is this your clip, bro? Is this Zerka's clip? Who fucking clipped this? I don't know, man. That's kind of weird. This guy already asked the question, why is Christ censored? I'd like an answer. I would like an answer for, is this Zerka doing this shit? Did he pull this clip from somebody else? Like, what? Which clown decided to censor Christ? That's fucking crazy. Sloppo censored? I don't know. I don't know who... I mean, this is... Zerka posted the clip. I don't know if he was the one who clipped it, though, you know? That's irritating, to say the least. I don't know. This guy already asked the question, so I... Keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on that. Did anyone else clip it? I mean, this is not quote tweeted. So Zerka posted this video himself. So unless he like downloaded it from somebody else and did it that way and posted it himself, so to avoid the quote tweet. Some people do that sometimes. That's just weird. Maybe some like Muslim guy did this. Kind of funny. Or not funny. Kind of suspicious is what I mean. That just kind of derailed everything. Do you think influencers converting to Islam has peaked? I feel like they don't do it as much as a couple years ago. Only really Sneeko talking about it nowadays. He kind of got left holding the bag, right? But like, who else besides Sneeko really had this like public conversion? I mean, obviously it was Andrew Tate first. Then the other big one is Sneeko. Then you had like Sony Faz. He's not even like, he's like a nobody. I don't really know of many other influencers that had that conversion. I guess, I mean, Myron, I think he was always Muslim, right? Nick's live? Okay. Nick's going live? That must be what the notification is. Ooh. Big firework just went off. Women, rappers as well. Yeah. Alright, guys. Let me take a look here. Going live, Nick going live. Yep. As of a minute ago. Holy shit, man. Can these... It's not even fucking the 4th yet, and we're already popping fireworks right now. Alright, real quick. Ah, shit. It's like my microphone's in the way, so I have to like type all the way over here. There was that female New York politician who converted. That's so fucking embarrassing, bro. Imagine going to hell for eternity because you thought you would get some temporary like clout from it. That's just crazy. That's just like crazy. It's just fucking crazy. At this point, like, I think Sneeko knows he's like kind of trapped. But I think Islam is I think he's embracing Islam because it's like he just feels so out of place in the West because he's a brown clown, and Islam is a brown clown religion. So it's like the only place. He's such a fucking tool, bro. It's actually crazy. And he was apparently, like, if I'm not mistaken, he was baptized Catholic. So imagine being on the winning team and just throwing. You absolutely fucking threw for no reason because Andrew Tate did it. What a fucking retard. What a bozo. Nico audience is mostly third world. He has no choice anymore. Yeah, and like his viewership is a fifth of what it was back when he like was on good terms with Nick a few years ago. He would get like, you know, 8,000, 10,000 viewers. Now he's barely, not even pulling 2. Like here's the credo. Pumpkin is symbol for Sneeko. Fumbled at the center. Yeah. Credo. All aliens once preserve their access to the dying husk of our civilization. Gotta get their piece before there's nothing left to eat. They don't even recognize that like things are decaying. They just literally think it's like this unlimited font of prosperity. They don't even recognize how their actions or their presence is degrading our society. They're not even operating on that frequency. They are genuinely that fucking stupid. Which is scary. But they live among us now. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Nick is live. God bless everybody. I will see you guys all then. Take care.